All righty.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, well, this is our second kernel literature review meeting, doing the second half of Atomic Habits by James Clear. Pretty much doing the second half of the book. Um, Once again, I enjoyed this book. It was a little repeating,
You can't see
monotonous
it.
a little bit. So, but it was good. I mean, I've read it a couple times and I've listened to it a couple times now. In this one, Brian, you're going to start off first if you want to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Talking to Taylor before we started, second half of the book's fairly similar to the first half of the book. So not a lot of new stuff. I just wrote down some quotes, and we'll start there. You should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. Just what's that Aerosmith quote? The life's a journey, not a destination.
Mm.
You know, I think that's pretty much what that is.
Yeah.
And not to get too sidetracked with the end results, you got to focus on what you're doing to get there. So, another one is habits are the compound interest of self improvement. And I think that's very true.
Yeah.
Goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are best for making progress. And I think that's important too, because, goals are important, but the system is what keeps it all together. And I think that's what this book preaches the whole time.
Yeah.
A delicate flower one day. Let's say, I don't know. Never mind. That was the ending of a paragraph. Excuse me.
Sound good
Be
to begin with, though.
Yeah, maybe it's a poem I was writing. Be the designer of your world, not merely the consumer of it. I think that's a very good saying. The pain of failure correlates to the height of expectations, and that's why in life it's important to manage expectations. Because the bigger your expectations are, if it doesn't happen that way, the bigger the failure is going to be. And then last one is with a big enough why, you can overcome any how. And I think I like that one the best. Just got to have a plan to attack whatever problems you have. As long as you got a plan, you can beat it. And with this book, it's all about habits. So that's how you beat any problem you have. And that's all I got, guys.
All right. I'll just start off by feeding off what you just said. Will you read that last quote again?
Yeah. With enough, let's see, with a big enough why, you can overcome any how.
I really like that. I mean, that at its core, that is pretty much all it's saying is you need, if you have a good enough reason to do it, you can do just about anything.
Yep.
You think it's, even though fitness may be a hard thing, but if you give it a why, then it's not that hard because you're going to figure it out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just like, for example, Olivia, I want to be able to do things with her throughout
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And the more fit that I am, the more things I can do. And the more enjoyable I can make her life. So that's a good why.
Yeah.
So I like that. But like you said, pretty much the second half of the book was just the same stuff as the first half. I really didn't have very many quotes. There was something I did like in there was talk about commitment devices. Essentially like paying ahead of time for something. Me and Brian has took advantage of this, running those virtual 5Ks. Um, you pay in advance. We've already lost that money. It's gone. It's been paid for, and we know that. So that made us even more committed to do it.
Yeah.
And when I done that in-person 5K, I done the same thing. That the week leading up to it, I was like, I just won't do it because I didn't really want to.
Yeah.
That nerves had set in, but I didn't want to do it. But I was like, well, I spent the money on it, so let's do it. So I like that. I mean, there's really nothing else to talk about the book, in my opinion.
Right.
We pretty much discussed it in the first half.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
my time is up. Adam?
I mean, I wrote down, like, I try to write down at least 15 things each half, at least, so I have some talking points. That's what I try to do. At least, little sentence, He just says, focus on taking action, not being in motion. Y'all mentioned that. Like, he said, that habits can become automatic, and that's kind of, that's completely true for sure. It's like some habits can become automatic. Like if it's not fun for you, it's not going to ever become automatic unless you like it, unless you like doing it. So, and it says, prime the environment for first half too a little bit, but he mentioned it again, like putting your clothes out, for the next day and stuff like that. That's kind of like what you said, basically, just like you already paid for it, you're going to do it.
Yep.
Clothes out the next day, you're going to put them on no matter what they are, they're out already. So, like, usually. And he says, when you start a new habit, it should take 2 minutes. So I thought that was interesting, too, because he didn't say that in the first half.
Right.
And said, look, whenever you start the new habit, you just do it, and it should take 2 minutes to get done, and you just keep doing it, and then eventually it'll become automatic, like he said.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. And then he said it basically again with ritualize the beginning of the habit. Like putting your, like us working out and stuff like that. I tried to ritualize it at the beginning. It kind of has fallen out, because it's just I tried to work out every single time I got up in the morning, but then I just got up and started feeling worse and worse. So I started working out when I get home or later at night. So it's like kind of hard to keep that going, but I get that. I understand that. And then he says automate some things like getting your meds refilled and you're paying your bills, like with electronics and stuff, so you don't have to think about those and you can think about the good habits you want to think about.
Yeah.
He said we as humans want immediate rewards over delayed rewards. So like, I mean, that makes complete sense. Old caveman wants food, he bonk, get food.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What that is like, but we really haven't got away from that. Like we want something and we want it kind of nowish,
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Get it later, but he says also to never break the chain whenever you're doing a habit. You do it every single time, and if you miss one, you do not miss it twice. And so far, I've not missed like working out, doing the fitness challenge. I've not missed it, but like one day, and then I'll make it up the next day.
Yep.
Exactly what I was gonna do yesterday, even though you never know.
Right.
I'll do bare minimum or as much as I can. And then the habit tracking, that's what we're doing right now. We're just, we write down what we did.
Yep.
We have a habit contract between us, just us
Yep.
messaging each other and talking to each other about it. Us doing even this book thing. It's
Yep.
like I knew it was gonna happen, so I had to read the book. And he also said toward the end of the book that our genes matter. They don't force us to work on anything specific. They just what types of things we are naturally good at. So like he's talking about like the runner with the swimmer.
Yep.
That other guy, didn't know his name, but thought that was interesting. I mean, that's just one way of being like what habits am I going to try to get good at?
Yeah.
And then there's play a game that favors your strengths. So that kind of goes against what the rest of the book I think is saying in reality, because he says like, because you can make a habit and do whatever you want to with your life. You can do whatever you want as long as you just make yourself do it. But he says, I guess that just goes with the genes. You know what I mean? Some habits will definitely be easier.
Yeah.
Like you, Taylor, you've done more working out than I have even thought about it. doing. Like your numbers are way higher just because you've done it before.
Yeah.
Same way with you, Brian. Like you stay consistent.
Yeah.
I don't. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm gonna do the 5 a day of each of them, and just to knock it out. And I don't know. And then he said the Goldilocks rule is where we're in the zone. And he said basically that when you're doing something that you're real good at or you're really liking, you get in the Goldilocks, rule where it's just working. And from then on you will try your very best to get back in the Goldilocks, rule, the zone. And I try that with writing, and it doesn't always work. Because like sometimes I'll be in the zone and I will write 4,000 or 5,000 words a day, and then I'll be like, well, I can't get 3 sentences because I'm not in the zone anymore and I don't know what to do. And he says we cannot become bored with our habits. Always have them a little higher than our current ability. He said, don't go too far, don't go too low because we'll get bored with them. You know what I mean? Like, do what you can do or a little bit more.
Yeah, that's right there with our workouts,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the last thing I wrote down, which I thought was actually really awesome, is pros stick to a schedule, amateurs let life get in the way. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I like that one.
That's just one way of being kind of happy with ourselves that we've, stayed to what we're doing. We read a book in a month, and I ain't read a book since I was like 16 or something.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't read books, and I should. So like, it's kind of cool that we did this and that we're going to keep doing it. So that's my notes on the second half. Like pretty much, first half said it all, and then the second half sort of, reiterated some things and said some different stuff.
Recapped.
Really good book.
I think it was a perfect book to start with.
Yeah, I think so too. When I wanted to start the workout thing and the book review, this book it was on my list of ones I wrote down. I had like 20 books I wrote down, but it wasn't anywhere near the top. And then I really got thinking after I made that fitness challenge, I was like, this book is perfect for it. Because I remembered very little from it, but I remembered enough to know that would tie right into it. And it tied into it even more so than I thought it would. And Adam, what you said, that never miss twice thing, I really like that. Because if you miss once, that's okay. Because you can do something once and it not be a habit.
Yeah.
But if you do it twice, it begins to be a habit. Because you'll want to do it 3 times and 4 times. That's when the habit begins. And that's a bad habit. Missing something good twice is creating a bad habit. So I love that. So I wrote that down. And that pros and amateurs thing, I like that too.
It seems kind of, bold, but like I think it's actually like schedules absolutely are awesome. Like
for sure.
You get things out of it if you stay to a schedule. And I've always learned, like, just in life in general, like when you go, like maybe not in high school because you're made to do it, but whenever it starts to become an actual thing that you have to do, like in college, you have to show up.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like a thing where it's like kind of starting a habit. Like, yeah, you're kind of, you're expected to go, but like you don't have to go. You go. And then like, so pros, you can feel good about yourself with that, I guess. And I think that's cool. And then amateurs, like, just constantly let things go like I've done 1,000 times and we've all done, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think that really was a really good line. I think it's toward the very end of the book too. So
yeah, that's good stuff. I appreciate you taking notes. I feel inadequate and not prepared.
Yeah, you have way more than any of us. So
thank you. I gained something out of you taking notes, so thank you.
Yeah.
After I read this, I just went through and tried to remember what hit, and I made notes after. I didn't make notes there.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad you did. It helped me out because that, like I said, those I remember reading stuff about that stuff, but it never stuck with me.
Right.
But I like that now. That's good.
It's just interesting how different things stuck with us,
Yeah.
Different things stuck with each of us differently.
Yep. That's good. That's why I wanted to do this. I think we could all grow from this in different ways.